Hey, what is good? We're back in the building on Saturday night. Hammer in the building tonight. What's up, Hammer?
As promised, I have
Yeah.
arrived to save the day.
After missing the show last night, Hammer makes his return.
Tuesdays and Saturdays are usually the best days for me just because, we got stuff going on and I can't the reason for my divorce can't be he did the podcast too many nights in a row. That can't be the reason. It's got to be something else. So, Tuesdays and Saturdays you'll catch me. If I'm feeling frisky, maybe I'll jump on a Friday.
Feeling good. So going into tomorrow, I've had a couple guys play so far. Albert in the building. What's up, Albert? Appreciate you, Albert. Emil, what's up, Emil? Don't forget to hit that like button, everyone. Appreciate you, Emil. Yeah, guys, smash that like for us. If you're new, smash the subscribe, join the chat, interact, throw some questions. Appreciate y'all. I have a couple things that I wanted to kind of touch on as you see here in the middle of the screen. So we'll touch on a few things, including Michael Thomas,
Okay.
who I guess we'll get into real quick. If you didn't
Trouble.
hear,
All right. The all right. Now I understand why you had a little smirk on your face. I was gonna ask if you got. Never mind. I understand the smirk now because I see the headline and it's pretty funny.
so
I like
I
it.
mean, is this some like CTE Antonio Brown situation? Like he threw a brick, two bricks apparently into this guy's car? Like,
So did you see there was a meme on Instagram that said Derek Carr's all arrest team and it had Henry Ruggs, Antonio Brown,
oh,
uh um
oh
Michael
my
Thomas and Chris Olave. So it had the all arrest team. That's a pretty good lineup, if you ask me.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, he never seemed like that type of guy. He was always a pretty quietish kind of guy, I
Yeah,
guess.
but
Like,
Antonio Brown didn't seem like Antonio Brown till he went off the rails, and then we're like,
yeah,
ugh.
yeah, but he took that big hit from Perfect, and like I don't know if Michael Thomas got blown up like that. Has he? I don't
Not
remember
that
him
I
really
can
getting blown up like that.
Not that I can remember, but you got to put it into its proper perspective, right? These athletes are targets out there, and I'm sure that people do stuff to get a right. Listen, I'm not excusing the behavior, obviously, but these athletes are targets out there, man, and people will say or do anything to try and get their 5 minutes. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
And get a paycheck out of it. So if you're one of these athletes out there, you got to be super careful, especially a high profile athlete, make a lot of money, which Michael Thomas has. So you got to be
Mhm.
super careful out there when you're roaming the streets.
Oh, for sure. But throwing bricks at,
I-
I mean,
To be fair, we've seen worse.
that's a little different. Yeah, but no, we have. I guess I'm surprised, like coming from him. Like he never
Yeah.
seemed like that kind of dude. He always seemed a little bit more, you know,
Mild
quietish, I
mannered.
guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just something that came up that wanted to throw in there real quick.
Trouble with
Emil said we playing
slammer
Noah
athletes.
Brown this weekend.
Depends on what your options are. I mean,
I have him in a league, but I can't play him because I have better options.
yeah, I think that's what it boils down to. What are your options? If you've got better options, listen, yeah, depends on your options.
Hold on, trade in the inbox. No, no, not a trade. What about Najee? Ah, this guy's trying to sell me Najee in Dynasty.
This is not the time to review your
I
inbox.
c-
All right.
I
This is
could
the
I
time.
could
This is
take
the
him because that
show.
squad is fucking stacked. Like my wide receivers, like all I really need is running back. So if I can get him for cheap, then maybe I'll take him.
We're here
Emil
for the
said,
people.
don't blame it on CET." Yeah, maybe it's just a fucking bonehead. I mean,
Yeah, crazy shit
Albert said,
happens.
Drake London, Marquise Brown, Tank Dell, pick two, full PPR.
I think I'm going Dell in London here. Right. I know. Kyler Murray's back, which is obviously we're gonna get rolling on that soon. But I think I'm going London and Dell. You could make the argument for Hollywood and Dell with Kyler back. I kind of, you got to imagine Kyler's going to be a little rusty. The dude hasn't played in a significant amount of time, coming off a major injury. Kyler could run around there. He'll probably find Hollywood a little bit. That is a tough one. I'd roll Drake London and Tank Dell, but I can understand the excitement of putting Hollywood in with his boy Kyler Murray back.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I'll go Dell in London, but Hollywood is a close one. Can't be mad if you wanted to go Hollywood. It's kind of a toss up. But being that it's Kyler's first game back, and we'll get into Kyler too. I just, like you
Hmm.
said, we don't know exactly what to expect. And listen, the Falcons got some good DBs. So I mean, I don't know. I think I'll just roll with Drake. Emil said Michael Thomas is just dumb.
Yeah, yeah. They do
They do
things that in
invincible.
retrospect we look at it and we're like, bro, really, really, bro.
Hmm. Yeah. Onjikaji said, actually, it's not a tough one. It's easy. It's Brown and Dell for him.
Okay.
Okay.
Listen, we totally
Be close.
understand we totally understand. And listen, the Falcons, even with Heineke, it's a little up and down because it's Arthur Smith. It's that weird ass Falcons offense that we've kind of been clamoring for, especially with Heineke out there. But it's clear that it's the coaching staff that's holding that situation back, particularly the head coach. So I definitely can't be mad at that. But London also coming off an injury as well, so that can't be
Yeah,
understated.
that's true too. That's true too. Mary, what's up, Mary? Out of Ayuk, Nico, T, and Jacoby. I traded Jacoby for Deontay. I like that. I like that a lot. Also have Keenan and Tyreek. That's
That's
a
pretty solid, no?
yeah, way solid, especially PPR wise. I mean, Deontay, Keenan Allen, Tyreek, and
Still
then
got Nico Collins.
you still
Still got
got
T.
Ayuk
Higgins.
and
Yeah.
Nico NT. Oh, damn.
Yeah, yeah. That the thing I like about that, Mary, is that you actually solidify that situation because with the Raiders situation, it's just too up and down right now. At least with Deontay, you're going to get consistent production. And the fact that you have Keenan and Tyreek, Deontay slides in as that perfect wide receiver 3 for you. And then, depending on what happens with Nico Collins and T. Higgins, you might have some more trade bait as well.
Yeah, I like it. I traded was there out of Ayuk, Nico, T, and Jacoby? Okay, so maybe out of those wide receivers, you decided to trade Jacoby for Deontay. Yeah, yeah.
Which
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Well, that would be the best one to trade for. Well, yeah, the best one for you to give away because I do like Ayuk, Nico, and T better than Jacoby.
Yep.
They need to replace those troublemakers in New Orleans. It defeats being a Saint.
I don't think that's what they were going for. Drew Brees ain't walking
Oh
through that
man.
building.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think so either. All right, but let's talk about Kyler since it is the first game back, I guess. You know, we briefly just kind of spoke about it. Like, are we trusting him yet? You know, I don't know if I'm comfortable just throwing him right in my starting lineup. Now, it does depend, I guess, on the options, right?
Which most people are probably hurting for that super flex. In the
And,
super
and
flex league, I think he's a must start.
oh, well, yeah, in super flex leagues for sure. But in the one QBs, I'm not trying to start him yet.
Would you play Kyler over like how far down are we going before we're like, okay, yeah, we'll play? Would you play Kyler Murray or Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, let's talk about it. All right, Kyler Murray or Trevor Lawrence? Who's Trevor got this week? Where is he at? The
He got it.
Niners?
There you go. So that's a legitimate question, no?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'll take Trevor though.
Okay. Are you playing Kyler or Dak? Okay. Against the Giants team that they may be up 30-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would
Are
be
you
to probably Dak chucking the ball. So
okay? Are you playing Kyler or Geno?
no, Gino's been
Eh,
pretty
pretty bad.
canish.
Right. Right.
Who are they playing? Oh, well, they are playing the Commanders, so actually, yeah, I'll play Geno.
All right. You playing Kyler or Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson.
Okay. Would you play Kyler
That's
over?
close. It's close. It's close, but I know
I'm
some people
just
might not agree with that. But
I,
I'll still play Deshaun. Are you?
I,
What about you? Are you on Kyler or those other guys you said?
I'm asking the questions here.
Fucking guy.
I just want to see how far you'll go.
Go ahead.
I'll throw. I think I would play Kyler over Geno. Probably not over Dak, even though, like I said, I could see them. Bro, there's a lot of legitimate quarterbacks that I can run off here, and I'm going to run off quite a few because I think they are legitimate questions. Would you
Go ahead.
play Kyler or Gardner Minshew?
I'd probably play Kyler.
Okay. Would you play Kyler or there's a couple of good. Would you play Kyler or Josh Dobbs?
Kyler.
Okay.
That's a close one because Dobbs has been good. Saints defense
He
is
has
pretty
been
good
good.
though too.
Yeah.
So
All right. So, right. There's a lot of legitimate Kyler or Russ.
Russ has actually been pretty good. Who do they got? Who the fuck is
Buffalo
he
on
at?
Monday night.
Ooh, that's a
Right. So
legitimate question. I probably still play Russ though.
right. So my only point in
They are
rattling
questions
off,
for
and
sure.
that's what I'm saying. My main point in rattling off that many guys, and I could go down to even a few more, is if you're in a 12-team league, you're probably in a one quarterback 12-team league. You're probably still playing Kyler for the most part. I think he's a low end one, but if those are the other options, these quarterbacks I just rattled off, some quarterbacks you think should be better, like a Deshaun, it shouldn't even be a question, right? But it is a legitimate question. Trevor Lawrence probably shouldn't be a question, but because of the matchup and Trevor Lawrence hasn't been great, it's a legitimate question. Geno not as good. Russ has been solid, but he has a tough matchup, you would think, on Monday night at Buffalo. So I think in a 12-team league, 12-team one quarterback, I think I'm playing Kyler.
Man, that's fair. And I mean, I would typically play Kyler over all of those guys, but being that it is the first game back, I just don't know
I get it.
how comfortable I want to be. And it looks like Onjakaji said Kyler will get a 30 plus burger.
I mean, I don't know if
Just
I
call you
have
Kaji
those
for short,
onions.
all right? We're
Yeah, I
gonna
like
just
that.
call you Kaji for short.
I don't know if he'll
James
get a
said,
30 plus burger. I wouldn't have the stones to bet on him having 30 plus fantasy points, but he would be in my lineup if I had him in pretty much all my leagues, unless my quarterbacks with Josh Allen and Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, anything really outside of the top 5. You would have to play Kyler anyway.
"Mm, yeah, this is true. This is true. So, what about Hollywood then? I mean, what are we expecting out of Hollywood? And then I want to talk about a little something else about Kyler as well. But yeah, what do you expect with Hollywood?
So the interesting thing with Hollywood is obviously they have a rapport, Kyler and
Mm,
Hollywood from college, I believe. So you got to think that bodes well. And Hollywood's been solid throughout the course of this season. I think he's wide receiver 20 in full PPR. So Hollywood's been really good. So I think if he slots in as your wide receiver 3, I think you're okay. He's definitely a little risky, and obviously it depends on your options. But listen, if Hollywood's my wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 on my team, I would be okay. Like I said, depending on what the options are.
yeah, feel you. I like Hollywood as well, and you know it's just crazy how like in the dynasty community, especially now, like people are only like the last 2 weeks now. People are like, "Oh, buy Hollywood," and it's like that was supposed to be all in the off season while Kyler was hurt, while you're getting the
Yep.
guy for
Why you
cheap,
could get
like
him.
while he
Yep.
was going really, so late in drafts.
Mhm.
Both Kyler and in Hollywood. So
For sure.
you were supposed to do this a while back, not now. Like now is too late. Like everybody knows now to go get him. You know what I mean? Like you got to be ahead of that.
For sure.
So, and the other thing I want to talk about Kyler is what if they do want to trade him, right? What if they're playing him now so he can kind of showcase, what he's got
What he
right
can do.
now, and then
Mhm.
they're losing and they wind up picking a quarterback and then wind up shipping him off. I heard there is also like an injury clause in his contract, so like if he were to get hurt again, like they would be stuck with him or something like that.
Okay.
Um, or not be able to trade him.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting because if he does play a little bit and he does wind up playing a little bit well, but they still wind up losing, rise up the stock of Kyler Murray so that other teams could pay up in the offseason, either before the draft or after the draft, when they take that QB. So,
Right.
or is it possible he doesn't even play the whole season? The whole rest of the season? What if he plays a few games and then somehow all of a sudden he's on IR?
I think if he's healthy, he has to play just because of that stock, like you said. Because what if he plays 4 games, 5 games, and they're like, "Hey, they just put him on IR." That's going to devalue him. So I don't think the Cardinals are in the mind frame of devaluing him. He's already kind of devalued as it is because of the major injury. So I think they want to play him as long as he is healthy and kind of get that value up as much as they can. Listen, he'll probably go for a first or a second, somewhere in there, maybe multiple picks in the NFL draft coming up after the offseason. So I think they want to boost his stock, and I think they kind of want him to play well. You know what I mean? I don't think they want to devalue him at this point.
I mean, well, hopefully
It's
he can
risky
stay
both
healthy.
ways, right? It's risky
Yeah,
both
that's
ways.
not, yeah. So hopefully he stays healthy, and it's just going to be interesting during the off season what happens. So we'll see. Frank in the building. What's up, Frank? What's cracking, Frank? Mary said Kyler first start with Tua's bye. Perfect timing. Hey, I mean, listen, if that's all you got, like then that's a situation where it's like, okay, then roll him out
Roll him
there.
out there. Yep,
Roll him out
for
there.
sure.
Oh, good. IG said did the same, no brainer. Listen, I've got Kyler in a few of my super flex leagues, so I'm excited that he's back. Um, it's nice to have him back now. B Dubs, what's up, PB Dubs?
Yes,
Appreciate you, man.
sir.
Frank said, "Peep this. He's got CJ, the Wolf, and Kyler still on IR. Don't have move. Don't have room to move him yet. Okay. Thinking about trading Kyler and B Rob for Devonte Adams. Is that cool?
CJ the Wolf. Is that CJ Stroud? Is that who we're talking about?
No, he has CJ. He's got the Wolf is Howell, Sam Howell,
Okay. So he's got CJ Stroud and Sam Howell. And he still has
Kyler. It
Kyler
looks
on
like,
IR. Okay.
yeah.
So those are his three. I mean, see, the problem is I would imagine this is a super flex league. So Kyler, I think, is worth more. You could get more than just Devontae
Probably not.
Adams.
I think this is
It's
just
tough.
redraft.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Just redraft. So he's just saying he's got the three QB. He's got the three QBs. So Kyler Murray, I guess you can trade him and B Rob. I mean, but is Devonte Adams the target where you want to go
right.
after?
That was kind of where I was going with that. Now, I think Devontae is a little bit more of a buy lower kind of guy. Listen, if you're in a league with 2 quarterbacks, it's Kyler's worth more than Devonte Adams, like something that's going to guarantee you a little bit more. Try and go after Diggs if you can, like that. I think we talked about that on the last show that I was on, I believe on Tuesday, where like you want a guy that's rocking and rolling and in a better situation. Devonte Adams, while I think he'll be productive, isn't in the most optimal situation. I would kind of target, go for a little bit of a higher production target at this point.
Who needs a QB? Like, who needs Kyler
Yeah.
Murray? If you're going to trade him, I mean, is Devonte Adams on the team that needs Kyler Murray? Is that why you're saying, Devonte Adams?
And if that's the
Who
case, you
else is
might be
on
able to
that?
get Devontae plus if that
Yeah,
team
I
really
mean,
needs a quarterback.
who else is on that squad? You're gonna have to find a team that needs the QB, right? Kind of coming back to make sure they don't get the number one draft pick. Fire up Kyler over any other QBs. That's fair.
Over any other QBs? Any? You firing up Kyler over my homeboy? He's not. I
No.
don't. My homeboy's not playing this week, but
Yeah.
You firing him up over Josh Allen, over Joe Burrow, over CJ Stroud?
What's up, Simp? Still kicking around who to start. Stevie still kicking around who to start. Full PPR, need 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 2 flex. That can be wide receiver, running back, tight end. Okay. CD, Ridley, London, Dell, Bijan, Gibbs, Monty, Connor, Kincaid, Laporta. I think I answered this yesterday. I think that's why I said he's still kicking it around. But yeah, Hammer, what do you think here? We need 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and 2 flexes. And I
Okay.
think just I guess tell me your answer, and then I'll tell you if I think I remember what mine was and what I'll go with.
Yeah, so the wide receivers for me, CD is the easy lock here. Now, I will say I am concerned about the Cowboys just washing the Giants. So CD is going to have to get most of his work done in the first half, which I hope he does. But CD is definitely the lock here. I'm going Tank Dell as my wide receiver too in this particular situation. I just like what he's doing. Nico Collins is out, so that's going to
Mhm.
provide, a bump in targets for Tank Dell. And then at my 2 running backs, man, it's so hard to say Bijan, but I'm gonna stick with him just because you kind of have to, especially where you drafted Bijan, I would imagine. So I'm gonna roll Bijan, and with Monty coming back, it's so tough to gauge what they're going to do. They basically said it's going to be a 50-50 split between Gibbs and Monty. So if that's the case, Gibbs is the more electric guy. Who do the Lions have? Are they playing the Chargers this week?
Chargers. Chargers.
Yeah, so give me Gibbs here. The dynamicness of Gibbs, if it's a true split and they're both getting 12 to 15 opportunities, then I like Gibbs a little bit better than Monty just because he is so electric. So give me Bijan and Gibbs as my 2 running backs. And then for the flex, you can I still like Calvin Ridley. Now that San Francisco matchup does make me a little bit nervous, but San Francisco hasn't been dominating people to the extent that we saw earlier in the season. So it doesn't scare me off as much. So give me Ridley in the flex, man, and I think I'm gonna go Kincaid in the flex as well. I think Ridley and Kincaid in the flex. So CD and Dell in the wide receiver spot, Bijan and Gibbs as your 2 running backs, and then give me Ridley and Kincaid in the flex. I know we like to stay away from those tight ends in the flex, but Kincaid's been putting on the show the last couple of weeks since Dawson Knox got hurt.
Mhm. But yeah, with Nico out, I think I'm with you. We can play CD. I'm playing Ridley anyway, so CD, Ridley, and Dell. So the other flex would be, I think Kincaid. I might just play Monty and Gibbs. I mean, this is against the
That it would be
Chargers.
hard. It would be hard for me to argue against that. Bijan has not been good.
I think I'd go with Monty and Gibbs maybe, and then I'd probably go. But see, the thing is, it's hard to go with. I mean, Kincaid is that's a great matchup as well as Laporta. But do I want to play all 3 of those Lions dudes? I mean, yes. I mean, you could make the argument too. But I think I'll go with the Kincaid, like, with the 10 targets and all that. Like, I think I'll take that. So, I think I'll roll that way. Give me Gibbs and Monty at running back. Give me, Kincaid and Dell in the flex, and give me CD and Ridley at wide receiver. Boom. That's what we're rolling with, Simp. Knowing now that Nico's out and Connor gonna play, CD, Dell, Bijan, Monty, Gibbs with Gibbs in London and flex was thinking, but Kincaid getting so many targets, yeah. Kincaid is trying to basically solidify himself as that number 2 option after Diggs. I mean, we've that's basically what everybody hyped him up for early in the season,
Yep.
right? Why he got drafted there. He can be that slot guy. He can be that second guy for that team because they need somebody other than Diggs. And, he's shown, with how athletic he is and how he can catch the football and make these sideline catches. And I mean, he's good. He's awesome.
I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. There's flashes of Travis Kelsey in there. There's flashes of Kelsey in there because I've seen him, especially over the middle, right? When he catches the ball, it reminds me a little bit of Kelsey. I'm not saying he is Travis Kelsey, obviously, because Kelsey's a Hall of Famer, probably the best tight end ever. Respect to Rob Gronkowski. But there's flashes there where they kind of catch the ball. They're very athletic, run after catch. It looks good. So yeah, Kincaid is. I think he's got to be in your lineups, man.
I like I like Kincaid. I think he was like the tight end. He was tight end two, basically. It was between him and Mayer, basically, right off the bat. Laporta was like the number three, kind of. But yeah, I mean, he turned out finding himself in a great situation. Laporta, same thing, find himself in a great situation. I mean,
Well, the
the
thing with
situation is really what matters here. And for tight ends, like we never see this. This is like is a crazy outlier, these tight ends being able to produce like this that first season, coming in. But, you can take any really athletic tight end and drop that, like, take a Kyle Pitts and drop him in, the Lions situation or the Bills situation, right? Drop any of these good tight ends, So
Mhm.
situation like really, turned out to be good for these guys, these two tight ends that came in. So, you know, awesome for them, awesome for the team. But yeah, man.
Yeah, but I think, and like you said, the situation does matter, and also the reason why Sam Laporta's been so productive is because they traded T.J. Hawkinson, so that position was just open from the rip. So Laporta's production has been there since virtually day one, and the unfortunate thing for Kincaid owners is that they pretty much had to wait half the season because Dawson Knox was blocking him, his path. And listen, also, they have to get comfortable with the NFL game, the offense, all that stuff. Blocking as well is a big thing for tight end. So if you're not a good blocker, that might limit some of your time on the field. So, learning the blocking schemes and all of that. But yeah, Kincaid and Laporta have been really good. Michael Mayer's shown some flashes, but he's not
Mhm.
in as nearly as good a situation as the other two guys. So I think Michael Mayer, if they had a really good, at least a solid quarterback situation, stable quarterback situation, I think Michael Mayer would be pretty productive as well.
Frank said, yeah, it was redraft one QB. Team needs QB and running back. He also has Amon Ra, Devonta. Adams would be his number three and his flex. So
Okay.
I'm okay with that. If you got to rely on him as like a number three or flex, I mean, if that's the best you can get on that team, then it is what it is. I don't suppose there's a bunch of teams that need a quarterback willing to pay up.
You never know, especially when we get down to this point of the season with the bye weeks and all that stuff, and the injuries that we've had, pretty bad quarterback play from some guys. It's you know, I think Kyler would be a commodity, especially in anything more than a one quarterback league.
He said Adams has been garbage, but worth a try. I think other running backs are Hall, Bijan, and Swift. Yeah, I'm okay with that because he's got the upside. You don't have to rely on him as your number one or two. So Saquon 45 carries loading. Yeah, I could, bro. He's gonna be getting the work. It sucks. The offense is absolutely trash, and they've got no quarterback. But
Yeah, Saquon had, I forgot, I think he had 30 something carries
giving you the
against
volume,
the
he's gonna give you the volume. You just gotta hope he scores a tutty.
yeah, he had 36 carries 2 weeks ago against the Jets. Only 16 carries last week against Vegas. They were getting
36.
mauled. 36 carries for 128 yards. Like, that sounds great, but that's 3.5 a carry. So
Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna give me the volume though.
Might as well ride it out. I mean,
No choice at this point.
yeah, that's been garbage. Reese, what up, Reese? Douglas, Noah Brown, or Boyd?
I'm not messing with Demario Douglas. Give me Noah Brown and Tyler Boyd here with T. Higgins out, with Nico Collins out. Give me Noah Brown and Tyler Boyd. Thank you.
If you had to pick one, I don't know if you said pick two, so I think it's just
Oh,
pick one.
ooh. So the Bengals are playing the Texans, I believe. So that should be an interesting game. You think there'd be some good points scored? Ah, give me Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I'll take Boyd. I'll take Boyd as well.
Although there are some other guys on that team that Joe Burrow seems to be throwing to now. Irwin is a sneaky guy.
My guy,
Was
EOC we're gonna talk about the Bengals wide
Siva?
receiver. I
Yeah.
might as well put that up. That's my
So
dude.
yeah, so Joe Burrow does spread it around a little bit. Obviously, Noah Brown, you would imagine, is kind of that 2-3 in the pass catching game. Dalton Schultz, I think,
Woods playing?
is a really good play this week. Woods is not a factor anymore. I'm not even worried about that, to be honest with you. I think he is. I think I checked on his thing. I
Well,
think Robert
he's
Woods
been
is.
out. He's been out, so now he's coming back. I don't know how much that's gonna matter for Noah Brown.
Yeah, I'll still take Tyler
If I had
Boyd, but
if I had to guess, Noah Brown just goes right into Nico's role, and you still got Tank doing
yeah,
his thing. But yeah, I'll take Boyd there. I'll take Boyd there as well. But Noah's a close one. You can make that argument, I guess.
for sure.
You know, B Dub said Tony Gonzalez over Kelsey.
I mean, listen, Tony Gonzalez was awesome. The thing is that Tony Gonzalez never really played with a Patrick Mahomes type quarterback. He had some good ones, but he didn't have
Mhm.
that level of quarterback. And Tony Gonzalez was prolific for a long time. So uh, it's tough. Obviously, Travis Kelsey has done it and done it in big time playoff games. I think that's what separates the two. Is that I've seen Travis Kelsey do it in AFC Championship games, Super Bowls, et cetera, et cetera. So when it's all said and done, I mean, listen, you can measure up the talent or the resume. That's kind of how you split the difference. I'll still take Kelsey though.
Got to Kincaid, dropped Kincaid, picked up Kincaid. Now happy.
A lot of people did that.
Yep. Yep. A lot of people did. It's hard to carry two tight ends. It's very hard.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll freak out if the Giants win outright. They ain't winning outright.
No, all right. So
There's zero chance.
I say this often, but I listen to a lot of New York radio, and there was a really good point made that even with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, did we forget what happened to the Giants week 1 at home against Dallas? 40-0 with their full complement of guys. What do you think's going to happen here? No. The Giants are not winning. Not a chance in hell. The spread is 17.5, I believe, or 17 or something like that. That's historic.
Monty Gibbs usage. Well, Mary, we'll get into Monty. We'll get into Monty and Gibbs in a minute here. We'll just finish talking about talk about the Bengals wide receivers real quick. But Goose Khan said Kyler or Carr. This is one where it's okay. I just play Kyler.
Yeah, it's Kyler, and that's a fire emoji. I see you with the GTA. I'm
That's
excited for
fire.
GTA. They're supposed to drop the GTA 6 trailer, which I'm super stoked about. So shout out to GooseCon with the sick avatar there.
But yeah, I mean T Higgins out. Fucking great. I mean he's killing me. And then you've got Jamar Chase also a little bit banged up. Looks like he's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
game time decision, but that game is the early game at 1, so at least we'll get to know whether he's going to wind up playing or not. I think he is going to wind up playing, but we'll see. So who do we look out for? I mean, Tyler Boyd, yeah, I guess you can fire him up. And then my other guy would be, Irwin will probably be involved, but my guy Iosivas, or however you say his name. I mean, I liked him over even the other guy that picked, Charlie Jones, who was like I think it was like a third or fourth round pick they took.
Yeah, he's currently on IR.
Yeah, he's on IR. So yeah, I mean, crazy deep leagues Iosivas. Otherwise, Tyler Boyd, you can fire him up.
Irwin, you can, especially if Jamar Chase doesn't play. And this, the benefit for most of you out there is that this is a 1:00 game. So if Trenton Irwin or your boy Iosivas is out there, last minute, and you got a Jamar Chase, then you can go and pick those guys up and plug them in if you're super desperate. Which in our home league, I'm crazy desperate if Jamar Chase doesn't play. So I'm kind of just praying to the fantasy gods because I do need this win in the home dynasty league. 5-4, hanging on by a thread to that 5th spot. So yeah, so definitely some guys, but you would fire up Tyler Boyd, I think, in that situation. Yeah, I'm just praying Jamar Chase plays.
Mhm. Sure. Better. I'm in one of those situations actually, also. We'll get into Monty here in a second. Did you see Michigan today? 30 straight rushes to end the game. Old school shit. No, actually, I didn't see that. Did
No, I
not get a
didn't see that
chance
either.
to.
I don't really watch a ton of college until kind of Thanksgiving-ish, when the games start becoming, bigger and bigger. I know they're becoming, bigger now, especially with the college playoffs. But the thing with Harbaugh was crazy. They suspended Harbaugh in Michigan for, I guess, sign stealing. So that's an
Mhm.
interesting wrinkle going on in college football with Harbaugh. There's rumblings that if he does get suspended, he might just if it is a more severe penalty, that he might just bolt to the NFL and go back, which would be interesting as well.
I got Kincaid with Goddard going down. Yeah, Isaac. What up, Isaac? Isaac in the building. Dallas D is gonna feast. Been doing it. I've been
Oh,
doing it.
for sure, for sure.
Kelsey had bum QB play, and KC left at age 31.
I
Kelsey is
think he means
34 and just passed him.
I think it means Gonzalez had bum
Yeah,
QB play. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah. That's
PB,
true.
I definitely I agree with that. I stated that from the rip. So the QB play was not nearly as good. So that's definitely a factor. But listen, I've seen Kelsey perform on the grandest stage, AFC Championship games, Super Bowls, etc. It's tough. I definitely understand the argument though.
Andrew in the building. Shout out to Andrew. Highest super chat so far.
Yes,
How we
sir.
feeling starting Bijan over Deontay tomorrow? Full PPR.
Deontay Johnson? No, I'm starting Deontay.
Yeah.
It's not that if that's the option, I'm not really thinking that hard about that. Now, listen, I guess the real thought about it is what you invested in Bijan over what you invested in Deontay. But we have enough of a sample size at this point to say that Deontay is going to be a more productive player on a per game basis at this point than Bijan on a week to week basis. So yeah, it's got to be Deontay.
I'm going with Deontay as well. Jamar better play. I'm fucked, bro.
Same, Andrew. Same. Oh my God, I feel the same way. I have an underperforming Devontae Adams, and I got Christian Watson as my other receiver. So if Jamar doesn't play, I'm probably toast.
Yeah, I've been getting hammered with injuries lately. Fucking Higgins. I mean Saquon for that time being. Fucking JK. Fucking Aaron Rodgers. Fucking
Hmm.
JJ. Hawkinson is a little banged up now. I mean,
Yeah, he is. That's another one.
Kevin, what up, Kev? What it do? Hammer, you on that UFC tonight? Another question. Many people never talk about Higgins not really staying healthy, concerning for you guys.
Kev, I do watch UFC. I don't watch it religiously or as religiously as I did maybe 5-10 years ago, but I do watch it from time to time. Sometimes we'll have fight parties and stuff like that. I think the last UFC fight I saw was maybe like a month and a half ago that we ordered on pay-per-view. But I'm looking at it now, and Alex Pereira is fighting, which is always interesting. So yeah, I'm not watching it tonight, but I definitely kind of keep up with it for the most part, especially when there's big fights going on. But Alex Pereira fighting is always something you kind of want to go see.
Sure. And then Higgins not staying healthy, concerning for you guys.
A little bit at this point, I mean, damn, when we see him when we see him healthy, we see what he can do. And that's exactly what he did against Buffalo. He virtually dominated that game.
Mhm.
But it is a question at this point because it just seems like he's not reliable. Last year, same kind of situation. And then doesn't it feel like it takes him weeks before he's back to normal? or back to like full capability. So yes, definitely concerning.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little concerning. I mean, this year, I mean, in the past, I mean, he's been banged up, but he hasn't missed a ton of games. Like he played all the games in 2020. He missed 2 games in 2021. He played all the games in 2022. But he did come out, I think, 2 of the games, right? Like, he tried to play through, but then he wind up, like, coming out in the first quarter, like, 2 of the games or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's been a few games where, he's absolutely killed us, in fantasy. But when he's out there, like, he's producing and, like, that's the thing,
Yeah,
is when you look at his fantasy points per game. But, like Hammer always says, when you're not available, like, what are you doing? What are you giving me? So
best best ability is availability.
sure. I mean, I think it's a good time to maybe try and buy low if you could, you know.
Yeah, I would
Frank
agree
said,
with
"What
that.
about Irwin for DFS?" Yeah, I like my guy EOSivas, but Irwin is another good one, like a cheap guy that you can try and kind of go in there with if you want to spend on some other dudes.
The tough thing is that when Chase and Burrow, when Chase and Higgins are limited, Burrow tends to spread it around a little bit
Mhm.
more than when those guys are healthy. So I could see like Eosivas, like you said, Irwin getting involved. Don't forget about Joe Mixon. You know, he could shake loose in this particular game. So Irwin's a little risky, but obviously he's not going to be that expensive. So that could be a nice cheap option.
What do you say? He's got two Pickens or Sutton.
Sutton.
Oof, yeah, I'll take Sutton as well, and then Hollywood or D Hop.
Ooh. That's a really good one, Marty. I'll be honest with you,
Yeah.
because you I think I'll go Hollywood,
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I was gonna
but
go with. I'm going Hollywood.
s- I think it's probably closer than I would like it to be because Will Levis has proven that he can kind of sling it around a little bit. You
Oh
know, he's
yeah.
still a young quarterback, but with Will Levis act showing that he's capable, D Hop becomes viable or more viable on a per week basis than maybe he was earlier in the season.
Mhm.
Man, fuck D Hop. The first game he had with Will Levis dropped 3 touchdowns on my head. Such bullshit,
So
dude.
when he wants to
Such
hone in
garbage.
on D Hop, he can hone in on D Hop.
Mhm.
Like that's the thing is Levis can kind of make all of the throws that need to be made, even
Yep.
like off his back foot, not really stepping into it. Like he can make
Because 'Cause he's got such
throws.
a strong
So,
arm. Yep.
but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Harborough next Raider head coach. Yeah, we'll see. Frank said tits are ass. I'm an ass man, but I love me a pair of tits.
I plead the fifth on that question, Frank.
I was a married man. He can't answer that, so I'll
You
answer it.
goddamn right. Don't set me up for
Uh,
failure.
Coral said, "Pick one to start out of these three: Kenneth Walker, Tank Dell, Javante. Pick one." Be Tank, no?
Yeah, it's pretty close, honestly, but I think it is Tank Dell just because of how explosive he can be, how explosive CJ Stroud has been. Yeah, give me Tank Dell here. It's hard to bench Kenneth Walker and Javante, but for full PPR purposes, yeah, give me Tank Dell here.
Yeah, I'll take Tank Dell as well. Kenneth Walker. I mean, we're gonna talk about Kenneth Walker in a minute also. Well, not in a minute, but we'll talk about him next. We're gonna get into Monty in a little bit here, and then we'll get into Kenneth Walker. But yeah, I'm playing Tank Dell as well. Javante, I like. He's been getting more work, but I think we got to go with Dell here. Higgins plays with a triangle between his legs. Noah Brown, Shakira, Irwin if Chase is out.
Noah Brown.
Yeah, I think we got to go with Noah here. It's got to be Noah. Yeah, this week is crazy, cheeks. A lot of injuries, buys. I mean, I'm getting killed with it in big
I
games
saw
too. Like I need to win some of
Yeah,
these games,
yeah.
and
I saw another meme on Instagram that had like a sad face crying or somebody just like going through it and it said when the Chiefs, Eagles, and Dolphins are on a bye. It just had a guy just like ready to kill himself.
oh
What a week
god,
for those three teams to be on buys at the same time.
Said appreciate the help. No, appreciate you, Sim. No problem, brother. To be clear, since Arthur Smith is an idiot, I'm gonna sit London and Bijan
No
this week.
arguments there.
Yes,
He
Arthur
is an
Smith
idiot.
is a fucking asshole. He just has to be the fucking smartest guy. Like he just has to. He's such a fucking asshole.
Tell us how you really feel.
Get him out of here! God damn. No problem. Appreciate you, Marty.
You already know,
Birdman in
Marty.
the building. Shout out to Birdman. The other one with the highest super chat, Birdman and Andrew over there. Appreciate you guys. PB Dub said Kyler or Levis.
I think it's Kyler. Um, Levis, listen, it's a legitimate question with these guys. Kyler coming back. Levis is still a young, obviously rookie quarterback. It's tough, but I think I'd take Kyler with that rushing upside.
I think I'm taking Kyler as well. That's one of those where I'll just take Kyler. I don't love playing Kyler this week in the first week back, but depending who you have to choose between, I mean, I'll take Kyler there. So Andrew said for Hammer because he asked me already, Jacobs or Brees rest of the season, Hammer.
Mm, Jacobs has been playing pretty well.
Mhm.
Tough because that Jet offense is so goddamn stagnant. It's really like it's just so hard to watch, honestly. Um, I think they're leaning on Josh Jacobs, and I think Josh Jacobs is starting to turn it up. I mean, Josh Jacobs had 2 touchdowns against that Jets defense. I'm taking Josh Jacobs here. I think they're gonna ride him, especially with the um with the rookie Aiden O'Connell in there. I think I like Josh Jacobs, honestly.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I
You
went
went
with
with
Brees,
Brees?
and I'm still going with Brees. Yeah, I mean,
I think Jacobs is consistently going to be that workhorse, that Jets and also too the opportunities for touchdowns are not going to be as many as it's going to be, not as many for Brees as it's going to be for Josh Jacobs. At least that Raiders offense proved that they can move the ball. You know what I mean? And Josh Jacobs actually played against the Giants last week, so he actually has the Jets this week.
Mhm.
But yeah, Josh Jacobs, for everything we've said about Josh Jacobs, right? Training camp holdout, really didn't get in till super, super late, got off to a bit of a slow start. The dude is RB5. So I feel comfortable with Josh Jacobs at this point.
Yeah,
Think he's got his sea legs under him.
Jacobs,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Not crazy efficient, but the volume is just steady
yeah, that's true. He'll be in the top 10. I
for
think Brees
sure.
Brees will be in there too. So I don't know if it'll be a crazy difference, but
But I
I
think the
feel like
thing
it's
that
gonna be
vaults
good.
I think the thing that vaults Jacobs over Brees is just the opportunities for touchdowns. You know what I mean? And if Josh Jacobs ends up, what does he have? He has 3, 5. He has 5 touchdowns now. If he ends up with 10, 8, 9, 10, Brees ends up with 5 or 6.
Yeah,
It's a
they
big
get in
deal.
there. That's true. Birdman. I gotta for the memberships. Maybe I'll put a. We could use a Birdman one. That was a
I like that.
like. I like that. Did you say who wins a boxing match? Kyler and Spud Webb. Play
My money's
Spud.
on Spud Webb. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for making my day saying Jacobs, Hammer. There you go, Andrew. You got to.
Yeah.
Hammer's always been a kind of Jacobs guy. I've never really loved Jacobs, but listen, he is a top 5 guy right now. I mean, so
The thing with Jacobs is, especially before last season, he was just an RB2. Like he wasn't anything special, but he was just steady. And then he had that breakout last year. And fortunately for me, I had him on my dynasty team and he just vaulted me to the championship. But I've always just liked him. I like the way he's ran. He's been a tough dude. He doesn't miss a ton of games, even though he takes a ton of abuse. So I do like Josh Jacobs. I'm a big fan. And the dude is still only 25 years old. It feels like he's been around
mhm.
for 7, 8 years, and he's only 25 years old. Ton of
Yeah.
mileage, but yeah, I'm a fan of Jacobs.
Isaac said trade James Cook for Godwin. I got JT and Swift as my top 2 RBs. Who's your
Mm,
backup? You have a backup other than Cook, or is like Cook your only other option but down there?
yeah, I don't want to. You don't want to leave yourself too thin at running back, especially with the way they get hurt. So, and are you hurting for a wide receiver? You know,
So
think that's the context that question needs.
so Birdman. Catch, what up, John? Like the new thumbnails, they look good, Steve. Appreciate you, John. Appreciate you. Adam Thielen did mid this week. Also, how you feel that I'm starting Kyler Murray? Well, who you starting him over first? That's what that's always the first question, right? Who you starting him over?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Adam Thielen did do mid this week. He's kind of slowing down a little bit. He is, an anciently almost getting old wide receiver. So,
Yeah, he's a fossilized carcass is what he
you
is.
know,
But he was balling.
I'm
So,
sure he's feeling it a little bit, but that whole offense has kind of just gone down altogether almost. So, I mean,
yeah.
he's still going to be the guy that gets the most targets there, but it might be just a little more up and down. I don't think we can expect all these, these crazy 100-yard games like we were seeing, early in the
No,
season.
but he still slots in as a wide receiver 3 comfortably because I do think he commands the targets. He's been healthy for the most part this season. So, if you still have Adam and listen, the value that you got Adam Thielen at, he's way outplayed his ADP. So, you can still feel pretty good about him, and he's getting the targets.
You said, who is CMC's true handcuff, Elijah or Mason?
I don't think it matters.
I think
CMC's so good. It doesn't even matter at this point, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, I don't think there's a true handcuff for CMC right now. He's so damn good. And I can't trust Elijah Mitchell. He's done nothing. I actually thought, based on what happened last year, especially when Elijah Mitchell came back, that he would be that true kind of handcuff in between the 20s kind of guy, maybe a little goal line action to keep CMC healthy. But they are running that Ferrari at 120 and not caring. So I don't really think there is a true answer to that, to be honest with you.
well, I mean, it is Elijah Mitchell still. I mean,
It
I don't
should
think
be
I don't think Jordan Mason has a carry the last. No, he doesn't even have a carry the last 2 weeks. So Elijah Mitchell is still the guy, even though he's not getting anything either. So in reality, unless CMC gets hurt, obviously it will be Elijah Mitchell, but CMC seems to not be getting injured lately. So, and even when it is Elijah Mitchell, once he starts playing, he's gonna get hurt. So you got to
for
have both
sure.
of these guys. So
For sure. For sure.
a drop of 30 plus. Don't worry. I like the
It's
burger too. When he dropped the burger, maybe we'll make the burger a sticker as well.
ooh,
I
I
like
like the
that.
burger. 30
Yeah, I like
burger,
that. I
20
like
burger.
that.
I do
Birdman
like
said he
that.
thought he was watching ESPN. Appreciate you, Birdman.
So it's really funny when Steve had came to me about the layout and whatever. So for those of you out there, I'm a massive fan of PTI. Steve will tell you because we lived together when we were younger. I would watch it religiously at 5:30 on ESPN. It's one of my favorite shows growing up as a kid. Tony and Mike are amazing. I would actually love to meet one of those guys, both of them one day. But yeah, when he came to me with the setup, I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm down with this." And I was trying to come up with something clever to name it, but I just couldn't like go with that whole PTI theme. But yeah, the setup is awesome.
Yes, what's up, Diaz? That's good,
Diaz in the
baby. The
house,
setup fire.
starting his
Yeah,
bull jive.
appreciate you. Thanks, Stevie being Hammer. Started CJ over the Wolf on your advice. Like how you actually think about it and not just look at the numbers. Good looking out.
Yeah,
Appreciate you,
Frank, the
Frank.
thing and the thing, listen, I look at the numbers as well, but also you got to look at the eye test, right? We watch all the games, we're junkies just like all of you out there. So we watch the games and listen, CJ Stroud is not turning the ball over. It's that simple. And when you protect the football and you're still prolific, listen, the Wolf has been good, surprisingly good. CJ Stroud as well. You can make that argument that he's been surprisingly good as well. But when it comes down to it, especially with these two, protecting the football is just, there's no substitute for it.
Yeah, I mean, we try and look at a little bit of everything, right? The matchup, what's going on, what's happened in recent weeks.
The
There's a
coaching
bunch
staff,
of a ton of different factors,
for
to
sure.
look at, and we're not always going to get it right, but for the majority of the time, we like to think that we do, or at
Well,
least try
well,
to. So
you're the Schwam, so you're 100% accuracy every single time. I
a
defer to you
hundred.
on every single pick. 100%.
I
You're
am
batting
not
against it.
100%. There is nobody that's 100%. Not even close to 100%. Sim said, "Hate Thursday night game, so left Donta on the bench." Ah, man, with Herbert coming back, is he worth holding on my bench?
Oh yeah. Any of those running backs, and I know you kind of allude to it all the time, Steve, is that these backup running backs, or just any running back in general that's worth a roster spot on an NFL team, is worth a
Mhm.
roster spot on your team, right? Because Dante could get hurt, right? Roshan hasn't really stood out the way we kind of thought he would when Herbert went down. So yeah, he's definitely worth rostering. Worth starting, probably not until you see some sort of injury, just so you'll have at least some guaranteed volume. But yeah, definitely worth rostering.
Sure.
I actually just rostered him in a redraft league.
And Kyler over T-Law because I can trust Kyler more than T-Law, especially with T-Law playing the 49ers.
It's an argument. It's a legitimate conversation, and that's kind of why I brought it up. I think I like Trevor Lawrence a little bit. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Arizona. Um, that San Francisco defense is not as vaunted maybe as we thought based on their last couple of games. I believe this game is in Jacksonville. Let me just peek that. Yes, the game is in Jacksonville. So it's a legitimate conversation, and you can make the argument both ways, right? Kyler's dynamic. Trevor Lawrence hasn't been great or as great as we thought he would be this season, coming off what he did down the stretch last year. So listen, it's hard for me to kind of argue it if you're feeling that way, if you got a feeling about Kyler.
Yeah, I'm okay with going Kyler over it. Dylan, what up, Dylan? Dylan in the building. Diaz says there is no handcuff. Plan on CMC missing a month at some point. Enjoy his production till then. It'll be a
He's
committee of
been,
Debo, Eli, and Jordan. That's right. That's a good point as well. Because Debo gets a ton of carries as well once CMC goes down.
yeah.
That's true.
I mean, to be fair though, Diaz, CMC has gotten to San Francisco and just found the fountain of youth, essentially. Right? He hasn't missed a game. He scored a touchdown in what 14 straight games now, including playoffs, 15, I think. I think San Francisco had a bye week. So I think it's 14 straight games. So yeah, you just gotta run him out there and pray he doesn't get injured.
Questions, Dilla said. Start one Hollywood versus Atlanta or Cook versus Denver.
Is that James Cook?
Yeah.
I would
James
imagine
Cook.
Buffalo running back.
Yeah. Yeah. James Cook.
Yeah, I think I'll go Hollywood here. I would imagine it's some sort of full PPR. Yeah, give me Hollywood here in the full PPR there.
Mm, I might go Cook. I think I'm rolling with Cook here. I think I'll roll with Cook and then start a running back, one flex, one running back, one flex. Ford versus Baltimore, Singletary versus Cincy, Flowers versus Cleveland.
So it's Ford or Singletary, and I think we're playing Flowers regardless in the flex.
We're not playing Singletary. I think it's Ford and Flowers for me.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think Ford does have some touchdown upside, but Kareem Hunt is steadily cutting into that, so that does concern me with Jerome Ford there. But yeah, give me Ford and Flowers as well. Ford at the RB, Flowers at the flex.
I think Ford played 64% of the snaps and he had 20 carries with 7 targets.
There you go.
So, I know Baltimore defense is pretty good, but we're still going to play Ford. Singletary, we're not playing Singletary. You're playing Flowers.
He has
And
a
then
chance of getting in the end zone, and that matters.
yeah, yeah, and then I would play Cook over Hollywood. I just think it's a good matchup. There's not much else going on in that backfield. Give me a little bit of James Cook action with Kyler's first game back. I do like Hollywood also, but I think I like Cook here. Already said PTI is the shit. Hell yeah.
Yes, it is.
Would y'all start Stroud or T Lawful?
Stroud.
Yeah, we're going Stroud for sure. Stroud for sure. Start one tight end and a flex. Joku, Noah Brown, Ferguson. One tight end, one flex.
Give me Fergie. I
Okay, we'll
do
take
worry
Fergie
about
in.
I
We'll
do
take
worry
Fergie
about
in the
that
tight
game being a
end.
blowout. That's the one thing that concerns me.
And then the flex, I guess, would be Noah Brown, right? Or Joku.
Mm,
I'll take Noah over Joku.
Yep.
And then start one flex. Moss versus New England, Shakir versus Denver, Algier versus Arizona.
Oh, that's Noah Brown versus Cincy. That's one tight end, one flex. Yeah, Noah Brown and Ferguson. Yep. And then one flex, Moss, Shakir, Algier. It's between Moss and Algier. I think it might be Algier. Just because
Yeah.
Atlanta does dumb shit. Yeah, give me Algier versus Arizona.
I think I think the Zach Moss thing just came to an end after only 21% of the snaps last week. So I probably just sit Moss there, and then Shakir is interesting, of course, but yeah, give me Algier, give me Algier. Yeah, said hammer, no counter.
No, Diaz. No, I don't want it. We'll talk more in the DMs. No.
Y'all, some of the few that do that by stats and then eye tests. I fuck with the mindset heavy. Appreciate you, Dylan. Appreciate you. That's what that's what we strive for. Anybody can just throw out a name, but we try to think about it a
Want to
little
look more
bit,
into it. Yeah.
a little bit deeper because that's really that's really what it's about. That's really what matters.
Fish
And
out.
that's how our mindset works. That's how our minds work, and that's why we love like Dynasty. It's just a little more sophisticated strategy wise, like playing of the game. So, it's kind of like a battle of the minds a little bit sometimes. So,
Hell yeah.
a bit of everything is a way to call it. Many factors y'all divide it into. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Appreciate you, Dylan. 49ers picked up Chase. Yeah.
Um,
49ers D is figured out.
Chase, the guy from Washington. Yeah.
Yeah. Marty said the 49ers D is figured out. Yeah, it could be. Or the
I
offense is
listen.
almost figured out.
To be fair though, they did play. I mean, I think the Vikings game was the most surprising one that kind of had everybody, raising their eyebrows. And then you go see Joe. Listen, when Joe Burrow's healthy, he's gonna carve you up. He's that good. So I wouldn't hold the Joe Burrow thing against them. But that Vikings game, I did not see that coming. And Josh Dobbs just went out there and carved them up as well. So I think people have figured some things out. If you can neutralize Bosa on the edge, you can kind of do some things. Now they did get Chase Young, so that does matter as well on the other side. Maybe they looked at it and they said, "Hey, people are just chipping and they're neutralizing, sliding the protection over to Bosa's side, and they needed somebody else to kind of absorb those double teams, and maybe Chase Young is that guy."
Dylan says he wants to play Hollywood over Cook, but he never feels good about Cook's matchups until this week. It's Monday night. Always likes having somebody there. Well, try not to do it as just because you like to have somebody there. But no, Hollywood is, I mean, there's legitimate reasons to play Hollywood over Cook. I just really like the matchup, and I think that if they're up, like Cook will just wind up getting more touches. So
Yeah, I can't
that's all.
can't really argue with that logic too much.
Send Chase coming at ETN, yeah. And we'll see what they can do. 2 games T-Law has played at home. He's done pretty bad, but who knows? Also, I like Kyler's ability to run the ball. Yeah, but
Gonna
I
give you
mean,
that
he's coming
rushing
back from
upside.
injury.
It's
He's coming back.
major injury at that.
I don't
Yeah.
know how much he's going to be trying to run. Kiptics, I guess I call it. What should we call him? That's too Kiptics.
KP.
I guess that's a good try.
I tried to pronounce it. I think Bagala and I were doing the Sunday morning show. I tried to pronounce it and I had no luck.
Frank, drop T-Law for Stroud. All right, that's cool. T-Law good, just not a good fantasy QB. Yeah, not for this season at least so far. ETN keeps taking the tutties. Yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence has not been, and I actually took Trevor Lawrence in my home redraft league. Now, the fact that I had Patrick Mahomes with Trevor Lawrence kind of makes up for it, but man, I really wanted Trevor Lawrence. If I had 2 top 8 guys, that would have been fantastic. But yeah, Trevor
Mhm.
Lawrence not living up to the billing.
Chuba. Yeah, Chuba, he stinks. Yeah. They both stink. They both stink. They're both bad. Andrew said bong rips or spliffs. Yeah, I'm a spliff guy. For
I don't
sure.
mind bongs. Who asked that question? Was it Birdman?
Andrew.
Oh, Andrew. So Andrew, really quick, when I was in college down in Florida, we got so desperate one time, we used an apple and it was delightful. So anything if you're desperate, I prefer papers honestly because it's less harsh on my lungs, raw papers at that. And it doesn't leave behind that funky smell when the leaf burns from the Dutch or whatever you use. What do you use now? Game?
I'm a game kind of guy. I use the games.
That's too much for
Grape.
me.
Grape to be exact. Are you nervous about Gabe Davis's dynasty value? What dynasty value?
Oh, here we go. To be fair though, his dynasty value is pretty high. Right?
Dynasty value is only
Hold
what
on.
people want or think of him, and nobody wants Gabe Davis. Tell me who you can you trade Gabe Davis to right now? Who would be openly buying Gabe Davis on the market? Who's gonna get? You probably can't even get a second round pick for Gabe Davis right now.
A Buffalo Bills fan.
Maybe, maybe. Dylan said he's doing
Okay.
Dynasty next season. He's super happy. Good. Make sure you
Hey,
tune
there
in.
it
I mean,
is.
we actually continue to stream all off season as well. So we'll
Yeah,
be out
buddy.
here. So come through. We'll help you out.
Yo,
Marty
Dylan,
said
yeah,
use protection.
yo, Dylan, I appreciate. You know what? That's good, Dylan. You're doing your homework early, so now you kind of get some tips. You're getting maybe a little bit of leg up on your competition. So that's fantastic that you're jumping on with us and taking some notes.
Mhm. Sam in the building. What up, Sam? Is Fournette playing? It doesn't say anything on sleeper right now. I don't think.
I'll check right now. Hate this new feature on my iPhone that it automatically dims my backlight anytime I close the phone. Like I put it into like
RIPTCS. So did
no,
I
he will
say it
not.
right? Is it Iptix?
Cryptics, like a cryptic tweet.
Gotta be. It's gotta be. We just call him
I
cryptic.
don't see the I don't see the R though. Where does the R? Cryptics?
Cryptic. Cryptic. I don't know.
Cryptics.
We're going with it. We're going with cryptics. Mary said start sit on Sunday morning. Bacon or sausage? Bacon, baby.
Ooh.
Bacon.
Yeah, I listen, I mix it up. Anytime I'm feeling froggy, my first choice is bacon. Let me just put that out there. My first choice is bacon. But if I'm feeling froggy, sausage is a nice, especially a sausage, egg, and cheese. Like that hits different. And my wife and I go to this on the weekends. We go to this coffee spot and they make a sausage, egg, and cheese sunrise breakfast wrap. It is so delightful. They put extra sausage in it this morning. It was delightful. Bacon first, but if I'm feeling froggy, go with the sausage. If you're feeling exotic,
I put
pause.
extra sausage in it this morning. It was
I noticed
delightful.
it was delightful. And I don't care how many pauses I get on that one.
Oh God. All right, let's get into some Monty real quick. Bongs are legit. Yep, for sure. Yeah, Gabe Davis is just not great. He said he spelled it wrong.
Ass.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Oh,
Cryptics.
okay.
Yeah, Dylan said he's excited to tune. He's excited for Dynasty, so
For
that's
shout.
good, man. That's good. All right, let's get into Monty. We don't know what's happening, right? Gibbs has been playing great. They're saying Gibbs is going to still get work as well. What is it going to be? Can Monty still get 15 to 20 totes with Gibbs getting 10 to 12 with, 6, 7 targets?
I think so. And I think the game script is really going to depend as well. And to be honest with you, nobody truly knows, right? Until we actually see it, until it actually plays out on the field. But my best guess, based on watching the Lions kind of I don't know the head coach, but kind of his tone of the team is he would want to establish a running game early with Monty. So I think you'll see Monty's best work done in the first halves of games, and then maybe as kind of a closer in the fourth quarter. And then you'll have Gibbs in those dynamic pass catching situations. Maybe they alternate series, right? That's really hard to know, but I do think Monty still has a massive role. I think we forget how good he was before he got hurt, fantasy wise, like, and just even on the field, right? He was phenomenal before he got hurt. So there's definitely a role. And listen, is it not smart for them to both get 12 to 15 opportunities a game anyway to keep Monty healthy and to utilize a dynamic playmaker in Jameer Gibbs? So it would benefit them to both get 12 to 15 totes or opportunities a game. And I want to see Gibbs more in that passing those passing down situations, and maybe the hurry up, maybe the last 2 minutes of the half or something like that. But I do think with Dan Campbell as the head coach, he seems like one of those old school rough and tug kind of guys where he wants to establish the running game. So yeah, I think there's plenty enough in this offense, in a high volume offense anyway, that I think they'll both still be effective.
Yeah, I mean, Monty's still gonna get the goal line carries, right? He's still gonna be the guy at the goal line, so that's not changing, and that's, kind of the most important part for Monty is getting those goal
Yep.
line carries. So,
Yep.
I think he's still gonna get enough totes. I think Gibbs will still get, what I still believe is the perfect kind of workload is kind of that 10 to 13 carries, 6, 7 targets or plus. I mean, he's that type of guy. He doesn't need to have 20 totes every time. And if he is gonna get that, he's probably not gonna stay healthy just like, Swift never could. So he's never gonna just get the absolute workload. Like that's not gonna happen unless Monty goes down to injury. So we'll see. Maybe in the future if he's able to handle it. But for right now, I mean that's not gonna happen with Monty there.
No, and I think it's important for them to work Monty in. And listen, like I said, they should both have 15 opportunities per game, right? Maybe for Gibbs, that's 8 rushes and 4 or 5 targets, maybe more, depending on the game script. But yeah, I think Monty's going to have a sizable role in this offense. I think it's going to be 50-50, 60-40, somewhere in there. I do think Monty gets the 60% because they have a heavy investment. We talked about this at the beginning of the year. Remember, everybody was frustrated with Gibbs, right? And we're like, yo, they want to protect this kid. They don't want him having a ton of mileage on him as he plays out the rest of his rookie year. So, I think it will be a 60-40 Monty split to start. That's just my guess, but guess I'm excited to see it tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I could agree with that. Simp said, "Y'all think T-Law going to have enough time to get the ball to Ridley down the field with the Niners defense, or going to dump off the Ingram or Kirk?" I mean, that Niners secondary hasn't really been good. They've been getting ginsued lately, so
But I think what Sim's saying is that front four with Bosa,
that's
with Chase Young.
yeah, I know.
That's a tough one. I mean, I do like the coach. Jesus, I forgot the Jaguars coach's name, the former Eagles coach, Doug Peterson. I do like Doug Peterson as an offensive mind. I think he's really good. I think he has a collection of talent on that team offensively. It just hasn't like gelled together, right? It just feels like they're a tick off. It feels like something's not right. But I do like Doug Peterson to kind of scheme up something to get his playmakers the ball. Tough to
Yeah,
say, but
I think they'll be okay. I mean, I like Ridley. I like the matchup. So, Kevin, what's up, Kevin? Madison or Javante? Good one.
that is a good one. Let's see. We know
Madison
Javante
got
is
the Saints.
going. Yeah, so two of not the best matchups.
Javante with the Bills. So
That's a tough one, man. That is a tough one. I think I'll lean Javante here, but I don't like either matchup, to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't either, but maybe they lean on Madison a little bit. I mean, Hawkinson is a little bit banged up, right? Akers is done for, so
Still no JJ.
Devontae's been getting a little more work too, so that's
He
like the
has.
interesting. That's interesting as well. And like I like Javonte a lot better than I do like Madison as far as skill wise. So
So
I mean, do we
really,
think that's going to be a blowout, or do you think they somehow keep that game close and like Javonte gets enough work?
well, you really can't trust Sean Payton right now with whatever he's got going there in Denver. But to your point,
Exactly.
though, a couple of weeks ago against Green Bay, 15 carries for 82. And then 2 weeks ago, before they went on the bye, 27 carries
Man.
on a 63% snap count. So I'm going to go Javonte here. I just feel a little bit better about his volume lately.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Javonte as well, but I do like Madison. Like I'm okay if you've got to go out there and play Madison. The only thing, like I said, that would be on the bad side for Javonte is if that somehow turns into,
A blowout. Yeah.
some kind of a blowout, which it definitely could. Where I don't think the Vikings game is going to be a blowout. So I think Madison will be kind of
Involved from start to
at
finish.
least involved, like, you know.
Yeah.
Um
Feel it.
You know what? I'm going Madison. I'm going Madison. I'm going Madison for that reason. Just on pure just volume alone. Just give me Madison, but that's a tough one. By the way, Monty and Mike Evans for ETN. That's a good trade. I like that. Like that,
That's pretty
Hammer.
solid. Yeah, man, ETN is just going nuts lately. And listen, they're coming off the bye, right? They have a tough matchup though, but ETN is just being used all over the field, and the goal line work is strictly his. Like Tank Bigsby doesn't scare me at all down near the goal line. So yeah, ETN it is.
10 team PPR. Kyler Murray, Austin Eckler, CMC, Adam Thielen, Olave, Laporta, Jacobs, Raiders D because of the matchup. Dustin Hopkins. What you think?
Who was your other quarterback that you're starting Kyler Murray over? I guess that's the question. Eckler's been he's been going pretty good the last couple of weeks. I like what I'm seeing from Eckler. CMC speaks for himself. Thielen, Laporta. I mean, Thielen, Olave, that leaves a lot to be desired. Adam Thielen already played for you, didn't go crazy. Chris Olave's kind of been hit or miss, mostly miss. He did have a touchdown last week. Laporta's fantastic. And Josh Jacobs in your flex. So it looks like you're RB heavy. If your trading deadline hasn't passed, I would try and trade one of those fantastic running backs and upgrade your wide receiver position, Cryptics, honestly, because, and I would most likely trade Josh Jacobs because I like the receiving upside of Eckler and CMC. So that would be my only kind of note on this particular team.
Yeah, I mean, I like the squad. Eckler, CMC, Thielen, Olave, Laporta, Jacobs, Raiders D. I like it. I like it, Cryptics. Missing Zay Jones. That's why I have him, of course. Ty Johnson. I
Oh,
mean, Ty Johnson. I mean, he's been not really. I mean, any running back, I guess you can say is worth stashing, but
mm, not really.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they just signed
he
Fournette.
hasn't. Yeah. Regardless, like nobody's even doing anything in that backfield, so it's not like he'd be coming into a role, even if like injuries happen. Like that's crazy fantasy relevant, you know? Devontae
Yeah,
or
I agree.
Brandon Ayuk.
I agree.
Adams or Ayuk, Hammer.
Ooh. I'm gonna put my faith into Adams for one more week. Oh, my bad. I was moving my mic. You hear me?
Yeah. Go
You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Hey,
I'm gonna put my faith in Devontae Adams for one more week, but I'm starting to get nervous. I'll be honest.
uh, I'm playing. I'm just gonna play Ayuk. Give me Ayuk. Give me Ayuk. I'm not putting faith in that.
I'm not.
Super. What up, Super? Yo, Gino or Russ this week? You know,
It's a legitimate.
you'll get back on track this week. Hey, Gino.
They're playing the Commanders. Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know, man. Let me just take a quick peek. I know we're moving this along. Fucking
Gino,
hell. Russ
bro.
coming off the bye, but yeah, Gino hasn't been good. I
No, he
feel like at
hasn't.
any
He
point you could just
hasn't.
implode. Give me Russ.
Letting Russ cook.
Yeah, especially if they're behind.
Get it. Let's ride.
All right, let's ride.
We get a Broncos country. Oh man. All right. Purdy, Howell, or T-Law?
San Fran playing Jacksonville. Commanders playing the Seahawks in Seattle.
Yep.
Those East Coast teams always traveling to the West Coast. I mean, it is a 4:25 start, so that doesn't concern me nearly as much with the 4:25 start. Give me Sam Howell here.
Yeah, I'll go with Howell as well. Give me the upside compared to the other guys. I mean, give me Howell. Sit one. Terry McLaurin, DK, Olave, or Monty.
Ooh. DK hasn't been good, dude.
It hasn't. Just a game he makes. He comes back.
I mean, he had that one catch for 50 something yards, and I'm like, oh shit, DK might start,
Mhm.
doing his thing. But obviously, it's super dependent on how well Gino plays, and Gino hasn't played great. Olave, not great, but I think McLaurin and Olave are the locks here, and I think it's between Metcalf and Monty. Yeah, I'm sitting Metcalf down. I think I want to play Monty. I think he has a solid role in that offense. Yeah, I'm sitting Metcalf down.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I might have to do that. Might have to do that as well. You're not sitting Monty, right? The last time he came back, he fucking
No.
had a monster game. So nobody's
And a
letting
lot of
that
people
happen
sat
again.
and a lot of
And
people
I'm
sat
not.
him.
I'm
Yep.
not doing it either. So
Yep. Yep.
because I don't think DK is giving you that kind of game. Like DK could give you a good game, but I don't think he's giving you that kind of game. Yeah, I might have to roll with the DK. I might have to roll with the DK too. All right, Howell or Kyler? Just came back. Outsole, what's up, Outsole? It's been a while, brother.
Yeah, that's actually another fantastic question. I didn't bring up Sam
Mhm.
Howell, but Sam Howell's played really well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Sam Howell here.
Yeah, I might go Howell as well. Marty said James Cook or London in the flex.
I'm gonna take Drake London, but very, very close.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll roll with that. Another question, of course, brother. That's why we're here. Go to my most popular video. Aaron Jones or Ramondre this week.
Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones looks like he's starting to find his footing. Wasn't overly efficient, but did get the touchdown. In that game against the Rams. I think Aaron Jones another week removed from that hammy. I think Aaron Jones's arrows pointing up for the rest of the season and particularly this week. I know it's a tough game against the Steelers, but Aaron Jones is kind of built for these games where I think when Aaron Jones plays well, the Packers have a chance to win, and it's that simple for me.
Aaron Jones is back. He's getting the carries at least. Ramondre just hasn't been good. I mean, he had a good game last week, but they played Washington, who just sold their whole defensive line. I
Yeah.
mean, 9 for 87 Ramondre had with the touchdown. I mean, That's not happening all the time. He had 9 carries. I mean, the guy's barely scraping double-digit carries a game for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So, like, I'm not comfortable with Ramondre at all. So, yeah, I'm playing Aaron Jones for sure. Daniel said my team scored
Oof.
0 touchdowns last week. This week need
Oof. That is brutal, dude.
need
Jesus.
2. Ridley, Addison, Lockett, or Demario Douglas. First time in 23 years my team scored 0 touchdowns. Damn, they gave you the Deontay Johnson last season treatment. Um,
That's funny. Damn, Daniel, you've been playing fantasy for 23 years, dude. Good for you.
damn, Daniel.
Daniel, do you go back to the days? I remember I was working at a job, right? This is maybe like 2010, 2011, and this is when I was starting to get my first being the commissioner. And I was talking to the maintenance guy at my job, and he told me that when he played fantasy football in like the mid 90s, that they would have to wait till the next day to get the newspaper and physically calculate the points based off the statistics in the newspaper. That's why that was like wild to me. So,
Pretty crazy.
what does it need? Ridley, Addison, Lockett, Douglas needs
It
2.
needs 2. Needs 2.
I think I'm taking Ridley and Addison here. Can make the argument for Lockett, but I like Ridley and Addison here.
I'm going Lockett. I think he asked us yesterday, but I think I went Lockett, and I think I did that because Saints defense, Lattimore,
Yeah, you can make
Lockett,
that.
good
You can make that
matchup.
case.
So give me Ridley and Lockett, but it's close.
I still like Addison. And with Dobbs kind of another
That's fair.
week, I think he's capable.
It's a close call. Chris Godwin or Drake London, outsole said.
Mm,
Who's Tampa got?
Tampa. Oh, why did I
Titans.
exit out of my...
Yeah, I'll take Godwin. Give me Godwin.
Who are they playing?
Tampa. I mean, Tampa's playing.
Titans.
Yeah,
I'll still roll with Drake London, but it's super, super close.
it's super close. I like both of those. Thanks, dudes. Appreciate you, man. No problem, brother. Appreciate you. Marty said Keaton Mitchell or Juju in the flex.
Hey, Juju? We're not doing that. Give me something with Keaton. At least he's got game breaking ability. Give me Keaton Mitchell if that's your option. Jesus.
Juju had 6 for 51 last week, and he had a touchdown
No,
the week before.
I'm not falling
And
for
there's
that.
nobody there.
I'm not falling for that.
Nah, I don't know if I could trust Juju either. But I mean, Keaton Mitchell. I mean, how much work is he gonna get?
Hold on. You bring this up all the time.
Got
Give
the
me
upside.
Juju's snap percentage the last 2 weeks, please.
34-36.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Keaton Mitchell's was 18. So I
That's
mean,
that is super fair as well, but at least with a running team in the
the upside,
Ravens.
right?
They do have a tough matchup though against Cleveland, so maybe it's more of a case than I originally thought. But yeah, still give me Keaton and just just a dart throw, I guess we're gonna call it.
Just hope that he breaks one.
Yeah,
He breaks one. I'm actually gonna
yeah.
go with Juju. I'm gonna go off the charts. I'm gonna go with Juju here. Fuck it.
There is no chart.
I'm going Juju. How about Josh Jacobs and T. Law for Keenan Allen?
Ooh, that's a little too much for my liking for Keenan. I don't think I'm
Jacobs
doing
should be
that
pretty
cryptics.
good.
Yeah, that's a little too much for my liking for Keenan. Yep.
Yep. Used to get my numbers in the paper. Yeah, he said what he said 23 years ago. Yeah.
That's crazy. I couldn't I would have a nervous breakdown having to wait for the paper the next day. Like honestly. And we're not that young, honestly. Like we're both in our mid 30s, so it's not like we're like, 21 or something like that. I've read newspapers before, but I can't I couldn't wait to get the newspaper and see if I won the game or not. And then it's the Monday night game as well. So you'd have to wait till basically Tuesday.
Tommy DeVito, Mitchell, or Juju?
Hmm.
Or two.
I mean, you got to think as a quarterback, Tommy DeVito is going to give you something. And he actually looked a little better, I guess, throwing the ball. They actually let him throw the ball against the Raiders. If it's a quarterback, you got to put a quarterback in there, no?
Mhm. Yeah, I guess I'm going DeVito and Juju, and you'd go DeVito and Mitchell, right? We just had the Mitchell Juju combo, so
Correct.
yeah, Mitchell better not fucking bite me in the ass. All he needs is just one like huge
Yeah.
carry.
Yeah.
Already said Keaton. Thanks, boys. Appreciate you, outsole. Got offered Aaron Jones from Monty. What y'all think?
I think I'm taking that. Now, you could make the case both ways, right? Aaron Jones doesn't play in as high volume of offense as the Lions do. But I think Aaron Jones, especially a healthy Aaron Jones, he's so dynamic and we see what he can do. He just makes that team so much better. I think I would prefer Aaron Jones over Monty. I think I'd take that deal. It's a tough call though. I'm trying to take the Packers cap off for a minute.
Yes.
Don't guess. Give him your astute analysis, Schwam.
I never liked Aaron Jones, but yeah, I mean, he just has a little bit. He can do a little bit of everything. Yeah, Monty can score obviously a bunch of tutties, but give me Aaron Jones. Give me Aaron Jones. Love it though. What wide receiver would you go for Josh Jacobs and or someone else?
Well, Josh Jacobs currently being RB5 in a full PPR. I mean, Diggs?
Gotta be like a top 10ish wide receiver, right? I mean,
Yeah, I would Stephon Diggs. I would throw that out there. See, who needs a running back, right?
yeah,
That's what we talk about.
yeah. More importantly, like we always say, who needs a running back? Because that's the team that's gonna want to make that trade, right? You need to give them something that they need in order for them to come off that good player. So yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely see who needs a running back. I like that Diggs range. Um, yeah, that kind of feels. But yeah, you do really have to see who needs a running back. I think that's the most important first. So see what teams need running backs, and then let us know what some of the receivers are on those teams.
It's Walker. We talked about him a little bit last week, but is this kind of a big game to kind of tell like what is going on here? Like past 2 weeks, I mean, both less than 10 carries.
I feel
Now
like
going
every
against
g-
Washington.
I feel like every game is a big game. Like when you talk, we tend to overreact on a week to week basis because we pay so much attention to the numbers, to the snap percentage, to how it looks, to who else is, in that backfield or who, what the other competition is. So I'm not panicking yet. Listen, if you have Kenneth Walker on your team, he's in your lineup, right? Like for the most part. So unless you have two other stud running backs and Kenneth Walker's your third running back, then it becomes a little bit of a question. But I would imagine for 85-90% of the teams out there, Kenneth Walker's in your lineup based on the other options that you have. They have a decent matchup against Washington, like you said, who sold off their D line in Montrez Sweat and Chase Young. So yeah, now listen, if he goes out there and only has 10 carries for 40 yards, then yeah, maybe it'd be a little bit concerned. So It's really tough to gauge, honestly. Does Sharp outsnap him again? Right? I think that would be the more
Less than
alarming.
Kenneth Walker, less than 50% of snaps, 2 games in a row, 41 and 45. And Charbonnet 59 and 55. So yeah.
Maybe there's something going on. Maybe Kenneth Walker's not, completely right. And maybe they're just kind of trying to preserve him a little bit. So yeah, it's tough. I think you're still running him out there. Like I said, for the most
Yeah.
part, it's.
Is this the game? Does he get back on track this game? Do you think he kind of gets back to
I hope.
himself?
I hope so for fantasy managers out there. I don't think I'm playing Kenneth Walker in any leagues this week. So yeah, fuck it. Kenneth Walker, 17 carries, 92 yards, and a touchdown.
I could see it though. I mean, that's what we need because I think another not good game like we've had the last 2 weeks. Like I think that's really going to set people off. That'll change things. Birdman said you ain't getting digs for cheap now, but Jacobs could
No,
possibly do, or at least enter the conversation. You
especially
know,
on a team that probably needs a running back.
Sutton or
Yes,
Wilson or Bijan. Pick two. Wilson from the Jets.
Sutton,
Garrett
Wilson,
Wilson.
Bijan.
Ooh.
I think. I mean, Garrett Wilson's got to be in there, right?
Mm. Yeah, I'm playing Wilson.
I think I'm playing Sutton as well. That's a tough one, honestly, because we can't trust Bijan in that with that fucking coach. You can't.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I'll do that too. Give me Sutton and Wilson.
It's unfortunate.
Sit Bijan.
It shouldn't even be a question, which is the problem.
Lamar, Etienne, Tyreek, Ridley, Deontay. That has a 3 and oh damn, you only
I
got
think he
3
said
wins.
three,
How
three
is
and
that
six.
possible?
Don't
Ridley,
feel
Deontay
bad.
got hurt.
Don't feel bad, Daniel. I have Jalen
Lamar's had
Hurts.
some duds.
Listen to this. I have Jalen Hurts, Tyreek Hill,
6.
Sam Laporta, Chris Olave, and I'm 2-7 in a dynasty league. It happens, bro.
Walker's got some kind of chest injury.
So
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's been the past couple weeks. B Dub said Sharps. Stock up to Sharps. See, this is why they drafted Kenneth Walker. They go through this every year. RBs get hurt, then they have no one to carry the load. That's true.
that's
They've
probably
always
part of the
got
reason
right.
why. Yeah, that's probably part of the reason why they drafted Sharps for this specific situation. And listen, most every team, right? 90% of the teams have multiple running backs that they run. And even with Kenneth Walker being a beast last year, what do? They go out and draft Charbonnet, right? So it's like, you know, uh Jacksonville goes out and drafts Tank Bigsby. They have ETN. So it's not uncommon for these teams to do that.
Yes, I was saying that all off season when they drafted Sharps is like that's the thing with Pete Carroll. Like he doesn't care. Like he'll just keep playing the hot hand and he'll openly admit it. He's always been like that. So like that's always scared me with Kenneth
Yeah.
Walker. But so far the first, 7 games or so, Kenneth Walker's just been dominating the
Mhm.
snaps, the carries, everything. Now Sharps is getting involved. Is that just part of, rookie getting more involved now in the second half of the season? Is that Kenneth Walker being injured? Is that playing the hot hand? Like a lot of questions, I guess.
Could be all of the above.
You know, that coach a killer. Noah or Juju, Isaac said.
Yeah, give me Noah Brown.
Give me Noah as well. For sure. Give me Noah. Richard, what's up, Richard? 7-2 playoff lock. Time to handcuff your stud RBs or too early. Got no fab left. Think I answered my own question.
As you're typing it out, you're like, yeah, I fucked up. Too late, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if those guys are out there, fuck it. Even if you don't have much fab left, whatever you got, you kind of got to burn it at this point. So, and if you're a
No.
playoff lock, I mean,
I would say this. I mean, who are your running backs? Like, if you have Saquon, you're not holding Breida.
Rita,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, I
So
feel that.
it just depends. Like, I'd rather have Kareem Hunt or something like, you know what I mean?
I feel
So
that.
it just depends who your RBs are. Like,
Yeah, I ain't mad at that.
if you got Kenneth Walker, then yeah, you probably want Sharps, right? Or you don't
If
even
you have,
know at
if
this point. Who knows?
what if you have Eckler? Are you rostering Josh Kelly?
No, Joshua Kelly's an absolute trash can. He's done absolutely nothing.
Uh,
Still, I mean, he'll break one out every once in a while, but that's just because of opportunity. But it's just it's horrible. He did nothing when Eckler was out. Nothing.
if you
But
haven't
yeah,
seen the video on Instagram, go check it out.
I think it's on YouTube. I think I posted it on YouTube too. I think it's in the shorts. Oh man.
He does have
Yeah, I think
Eckler.
it just
He
depends
does have
what
Eckler.
your RBs are, Richard. Who are your RBs? So Eckler and ETN. So yeah, I would say you probably want Tank Bigsby because he'll probably get a majority of the work if ETN was to go down. And Eckler, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I guess you can roster Joshua Kelly. That's funny you said Eckler
Yep.
because Joshua Kelly just hasn't done anything. But I mean, he's a decent guy to have on the bench, depending who else is out there, right? What are your other options? So if Joshua Kelly's your only option that you can keep there, then that's fine. But yeah, who else is out there? Because are there any other running backs that are behind, some workhorse guys that can possibly get the workload afterwards, right? Like Ford was, like Kyron Williams, right? Is there any of those kind of? Is there, anybody out there who can take on, majority of the workload if that guy in front of them got injured? So
Definitely don't pick up AJ Dillon.
who's out there? Like never. Another bunner. Yeah, man. I went off on Kelly. He should be in the shorts if you go to the YouTube page. I mean, it should be in the shorts. Like he pissed me off for sure. You get Kelly, you might as well have an open slot. That's how it's been. I mean, let's pull up Kelly real quick. Pull up
It's not
Kelly
good.
real quick.
Although I did see him, like you said, I did see him kind of break a long run. I think it was last week or
Yeah,
maybe the
that
week
was
before.
one. That was
And it was
one
just like, what the
fucking
fuck? And he couldn't do
one
that when
long
we
run.
expected him.
I mean, look at this. I mean, he's putting up the same numbers now as he was in the beginning of the season, and he had fucking 16, 13, 11, and 17 carries, 15 fantasy points, 3, 2, and 6. And then the last 4 weeks, 1, 13 and a half, 2, and 3. So, I mean, the snap
Junk.
percentage has gone down also like drastically. So,
It's Eckler time.
now
Yeah.
again, now if Eckler gets hurt, obviously at that point he'll be getting more snaps, but he still does absolutely jack with them. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Can't
we're
trust
not
him.
we're not rolling with that, man. Birdman said he got him twice. Chuba is the new Kelly, bro. That's a good one, Isaac. Chuba is the new Kelly for
But I've
sure.
seen but I've seen Chuba play well before though.
Chuba is a trash can too. He had like what, 15 carries for 29 yards or some shit like that the other week. Big
But
Trev in the building.
really quick, at least Chuba has the excuse or the excuse, but the reason of that offense isn't very good. Kelly should be doing way better with that offense in LA with the Chargers. So at least you could look at it and go, that Carolina offense not great.
15 carries for 28 yards, Chuba
I
Hubbard.
understand.
Then he
I
had
understand.
16 for 58, not too bad. But then he had 9 for 23, followed that up with against a garbage defense. So, yeah, we're just not playing that. Tick said, should I try to get MPJ
Who's
Peoples Jones?
MPJ?
Is that Peoples Jones?
That's Donovan Peoples Jones.
Oh, who's MPJ?
I have no idea who MPJ is.
MPJ. No, I'm bugging. Guys, let me know. What are we missing here? Who's
Yeah.
MPJ? Choose one. What's up, friend? Appreciate you for tuning in. One Purdy or my bad. Purdy or Herbert.
Yeah, it's still Justin Herbert here.
Yeah, it is still Justin Herbert for sure. Oh, Michael Pittman. Okay.
Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Get him cryptics. That's a good move. Good move. I like that. I know this year's going to be crazy, but are playing the players or offensive coordinators going for? But oh wait, what?
I guess what Frank is saying is like with the Bijan thing, right? Like Bijan hasn't been we know Bijan's amazing, but in that offense, it's been fucking bullshit. So I think that's kind of where Frank is going with that. I think Frank, and we talked about this earlier, is that you kind of got to look at it in its totality, right? Like, there could be bad offensive coordinators, but the player's really good and he's producing. So I think rolling into week 10, we have a really good sample size of what we've seen thus far. And it depends on the options, right? There's a number of factors that go into it. So I don't think it's one or the other per se. I think it's just a combination of all those different things. And a situation like Bijan just frustrates the hell out of you. That's why at this point in the season, there's going to be a lot of questions with Bijan because he just hasn't produced to the level that we thought he would produce, considering the talent and where they took him in the draft.
Mm-hmm. Mm. My alumni day in LA. Soup kitchen guy.
That's cold.
Next week, Achan coming back. Supposed to be coming back next week. JJ, hopefully we see next week as well. But yeah, Achan should be coming back. What are we going to see in that offense? That's going to be interesting, of course. So we'll see what happens there. Now they've got
Yeah.
everybody healthy, right? Ahmed is healthy, Mostert is healthy, Wilson is healthy. I mean, so now they're gonna have all four of those guys healthy. And HN, when they were all healthy start the season, was the last guy on that list. I mean,
Yeah, but I think he opened the eyes with
of
his
course,
performances. I think he is the
of
number 2
course.
guy behind Mostert when he comes back. I'll be honest.
We
I think he's
we would
vaulted
hope
Jeff Wilson.
we would hope, and he should. He should for sure go right into that. But Bijan should be doing, a lot more than what he is. So you just never know, right?
Yep,
You know? But what
no
is it?
doubt.
What is realistically Achan gonna be getting? I mean, I've always said he's probably in like the 8 to 12 touch range. I mean, that's probably a good range for the amount of touches that you want to give him. Do you want to give him more than that? I mean, he already got hurt.
And I think 8 to 12 is perfect, and he'll still be in the he's still in RB2 every week,
Mhm.
RB2, getting that
Exactly.
volume. So I think
With
that's
the
perfect.
RB1 upside, with the upside for
Yep.
some of those crazy weeks or those crazy big plays. So yeah, I'm
Hmm.
with you 100%. That's kind of what I've always thought of A-Chain as being a solid RB2 because I don't think they're gonna give him I think they're gonna give him 18, 20 touches unless
No, that would be
situation
smart.
arises. Josh Jacobs from Michael Pittman or what? Mm, probably want something else too. You might be able to get a little
Yeah,
piece on top of it. Like
I would
that's tough.
reach a
If
little bit
that's
higher.
all he's got, if that's the only team that really kind of needs a running back, I mean,
I would try and, like you said, if that's what you can get, I would try and get another little something on top of it. If you're giving up Jacobs, because Jacobs he's an RB1 and he will be for the rest of the season. Pittman's probably a wide receiver too, for the rest of the season.
Joe Bijan on the bench, sad right now.
Nah, Birdman, don't do that to me. I traded for Bijan in our subscriber dynasty league, and it looks like I got fleeced getting Bijan. That's what it looks like right now.
Well,
It looks like I got fleeced. Fucking bullshit.
George, what's up, George? 8-1, non PPR. Chua, CMC, K9, Cup, Waddle, Joku, and Olave. Benches, Fields, Warren, Keaton, Fournette, Dell, Deontay, JSN, and Quentin. Should I trade Olave for Achan or Rashard?
I'll be honest with you, George. I'm playing Deontay. I'm playing Deontay over Olave at this point.
Mhm.
To be honest with you, I like
Yeah.
I like I like Cup and Waddle. I might even play, depending on if Matthew Stafford plays. I might play Dell this week over Cup. Now I know that sounds kind of sacrilege, but based on what I've seen Brett Rippon do, I'm not excited about that. So you have some
It's
really
not
good
Brett
bench
Rippon no
pieces.
more. Now
Stafford's
it's
back.
Carson Wentz, I think it was.
Oh, is it? I didn't even peek into
But
that.
I think Stafford's gonna play, so we'll see. See what happens. I think Stafford's gonna play though, right? Do they have
He's out.
Stafford that's playing, or is he
Head coach
officially out?
optimistic. Well, still has the out
Mystic,
label.
yeah. You know how Matt Stafford rolls.
Yeah. Yeah, if Stafford plays, then obviously you're playing Cup. You're definitely playing Waddle. So would you trade Olave for Achan and Rashad
Oh, they're
White?
off this week. They're off this week. That's right. So we're not even talking about that. That doesn't even
Oh, the
matter right
bye.
now.
Yeah. So yeah, you're playing Tank Dell in there.
Yeah. So anyway, should we trade Olave for Achan
And
or Richard
or
White?
CMC, Kenneth Walker. Yeah, it looks like you have an abundance of wide receivers. I would look for a little bit more for Olave. He hasn't played great. Rashad White has been fantastic. I think I lean Rashad White a little bit more just because he's kind of the guy there, getting all the work, getting the receiving work. Achan's kind of going to be that a little bit of a boomer bust guy with the amount of running backs they have in that room.
That's fair.
So if you're targeting anybody here, it'd definitely be Rashad White, just because he doesn't have as much competition for playing time in that backfield that Achan does.
Do you want that boom in Achan?
Yeah, I mean
You know, want that boom in Achan? Stafford will be back next week, so I'm not really worried about Cup going forward.
that's fine. That's fine. I didn't realize it at that moment. Yeah, if you're trading
I'm
Olave,
okay
I
with
I,
either.
I don't mind that.
Okay with either. Kyle, what's up, Kyle? Start Dale or Najee in the flex.
It's
Already
not even a
starting Evans in
question.
London.
It's not
Dell.
even a question. It's
Yeah,
Dell, and it's not
Dell for
close.
sure. They were able to activate JJ early because their Vikes buy is 3 weeks away. Yeah, 21 day window to return. JJ could still be 4 weeks away. That's possible. I think it depends, like if we're winning or not, right? I mean, if we're
Yep.
winning, maybe they say, okay, let's give him an extra week if he's not 100%, right? Let's give him an extra week. Let's give him an extra week. So, we're what in the 7th slot right now, I think, for the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, I'd bring him back slow too. There's not a rush because we're still in contention right now. So,
And they have a winnable game this week at home.
Waddle on the bye. Dale from my school, Birdman said, okay,
It's interesting.
okay. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it was just really the games to maybe talk about. Is there what's the best games going on this week? What's the best games we got?
Lions Chargers.
Lions, Chargers. Yep. That's a good one. Maybe Browns, Ravens.
Yeah, not crazy about that. Texans Bengals. That excites
Yeah,
me.
that could be a good one. But that's it, really. There's not anything else that's really like
Jaguars Niners
exciting.
is interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. You could say
Jaguar.
that. Yeah, Jaguars, Niners, and you could even say the Vikings, Saints with Dobbs.
No, stop it.
It's a story, bro. It's the story. All right.
Story. Fuck it. Packers Steelers. I can't wait to see that 13-10 game.
Oh shit.
So it's funny. I was listening. Obviously, I listened to the Michael K show here on ESPN New York, and they do their pro picks, and they said it's one of the worst weeks game wise to make picks. Like, there's not a ton of matchups that is really exciting. And specifically the primetime games, right? We got Bears, Panthers. I'll be honest with you, I watched like the first quarter of that game, and then I just turned on my PS5. I was like, I'm not doing this. And I love football like religiously. And I turned it off after the first quarter. After that, I think it was a punt return. I turned it off. I was like, yeah, I can't do this. And then you get the Jets Raiders Sunday night. Yuck. And then Bills Broncos. Nah. So
Mhm.
yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yep. You pick up Dobbs to block, even if I have Lamar and Purdy.
Absolutely, if you can afford the roster spot.
If you can afford it, yeah. I mean, that's gonna be rough. Depends on your league. As long as his team can score a tutty, he'll be all right. That's why I watch
I
Red
got
Zone.
faith
Yeah,
in you,
Red
Danny.
Zone is religiously like the fantasy football fucking Bible. Under 27.5 and 115 nothing. Ah,
Ooh. Yo, Daniel, so there was a really I think a couple of weeks ago when the Giants played the Jets, that was I think the over under on that was like 35 or 30. It was very low. And I was smashing the under on that Giants Jets game. I think it finished, what was it, an overtime game? I think it was like 13-10 or some nonsense like that. The unders have been crushing it this year for the most part.
bum ass Chuba. Yeah, get Chuba out of there, man. Michael Pittman and Rashard White for Josh Jacobs. Oh, you get both of them.
I
Perfect.
love
That's
that.
how you
I
want to do
love
it.
that.
That's
Boom.
how you want to do it. I like that. I like
Boom.
that. Let's do that.
That's perfect, actually,
Smash
if
it,
you think
baby.
about it.
Smash it. Live.
On it.
I'll take Pittman and White for Jacobs. I like that.
I don't mind that either.
How we do it, Cryptics. That's how we do it.
Yeah, buddy. I think Diaz had a question.
Oh yeah, my bad. I had Diaz's up there real quick. I got
Diaz, I
excited though
got you.
when I saw the
Diaz,
trade
I got
offer there.
nah, Diaz, I got you, baby. Steve don't care about you.
Would you with Tyreek having having the worst playoff schedule, would you try and tear down to those that have an easier playoff schedule and grab a first? Who is it that we're grabbing the first with? I'm okay with I love grabbing the first. I'm okay with tearing down, but who is it that we are getting? And I mean, it's not like it's Tyreek's last year. Like he's going to be around more as well. So depending on who you're getting with the first, let me know who it is. Diaz, who is it that we're tearing down to?
I don't necessarily like that just because if you are a playoff team, right? Obviously, if you have Tyreek and this question would I would surmise that you're a playoff team with Tyreek. Like I'm not trading him just because of the schedule. Like I don't care about that. Tyreek is amazing. He's probably one of the reasons why you're making the playoffs. I'm not doing that.
It
Going
depends
for
who
the
it is.
gusto.
Like I said, I'm okay with it, but it depends who it is.
I guess, but dude, like he's a game changer.
Well, if it's
Like
Diggs
are
in a
you
first, you're not. What are you doing?
No, 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 no.
Give me Diggs in the first.
Yeah. And you'll be going home in the playoffs and I'll be
No,
just
that's
fine.
not going to be the difference between me winning and losing.
You're telling me it can't? You're telling me Tyreek Hill cannot be the difference between you winning and losing and Stephon Diggs having a meltdown on the sideline because he only caught 3 passes for 21. Stop it. No. 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 If I'm in
Oh god.
if I know I'm making the playoffs, I'm not trading Tyreek Hill just because of the playoff
Like I said,
schedule.
Diaz,
I'm not
what's the
doing it.
options, baby? What's the options, man? Who we getting with the first, Diaz? What are we cooking up? Hammer don't want to cook it up, so
No. I want to win.
am I out of my mind? But Rondell Moore will be up on the waiver talk Monday morning. Rondell Moore, he could
Okay.
be. I mean, Kyler liked
With
him last
Kyler?
year. Yeah,
Mhm. That's not a bad
you can
I
see
don't I
that.
don't
Mary said yes. We only watch 7 hours of commercial-free football at the
you know
house.
you know what's funny about that? By the time it says 7 hours of commercial-free football, my wife has left the house because she knows.
Isaac said he's not coming off Reek. It's Bagala about Reek. Yep. Reek said this is his last year. No, I don't think he said that. Did he? I think he said after his
No,
contract
I
was
think
up.
yeah, which is this year plus 2 more after this.
Just like, yeah, which is 2 more years, I believe. So, and we'll see if that stands true or not. But 3-6, you have Tyreek. Yeah, I mean Hammer's in the same boat. I think he's 2-7.
Yep. And I'm still now listen, and because I'm 2-7, I will entertain offers, but I think with the team I have, and I have 3 second round picks. I don't have any first because I traded it. I traded my first for Bijan, which currently sits at the 102. Um, but yeah, I think with 3 second round picks and the core team I have, I like my team. I'm not gonna just break it up because I had one kind of rough season, you know.
We
But
gotta
context
break it
definitely
up, but
matters.
you could do a little tear down, maybe.
I could.
Reek said
I
he's
probably
playing
won't.
out. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, guys, throw in any last questions y'all got. We'll be here for another couple minutes. Let you get in any last questions, and then we'll be on tomorrow morning, 11:30 Eastern, hour and a half before kickoff. Go
No
over
pumpkin
some of
picking
the
tomorrow? Do you have, like, apple picking or sunflower
shit,
picking
Dan.
tomorrow? Do you have something? I don't I'm confused.
Had to spend a day with my daughter real quick, but she might be here tomorrow while I'm streaming. Switched it up on me. Oh man, you should have smashed it quicker. You gotta be quicker than that.
Oh, you gotta be quicker than that.
Joe Mixon and Michael Pittman for Joe Mixon and Michael Pittman for Josh
Mm.
Jacobs and James Conner.
I like the Rashad White just because of the receiving work he's been getting. Rashad White's been playing really well. Joe
Josh
Mixon
Jacobs
is
is top 5. I mean,
yeah.
no, it's gotta be go back to what it was. He sent it in the first place, so he was thinking about it. So now you got to push for it. Throw him some other garbage you got on your bench that doesn't matter or something like that, just to make him feel good. I'm okay with Mixon instead of Rashard White if that's what it has to be, but not giving up Connor as well though. You know? What do you
And
think,
Connor's
Hammer?
back, so yeah, I kind of agree, and it's just that was, like, the perfect situation to be in to get Rashad White and Pittman,
Mhm.
right? Because Josh Jacobs is essentially your RB3. So if you got Rashad White as your RB3, that's fantastic, and then you add Michael Pittman on top of it. Yeah, I would play a little hardball and go back and forth and see if you can kinda get back to that original trade. See if you can still get Rashad White in there. Would you still do it if it was Rashad White and Michael Pittman for Jacobs and Connor? Or you
Yeah,
don't
that'd
love
make me
that?
feel a lot better, but I still don't want to give up
Connor
Hunter
with it?
as well. You know, if you need just to have the
I
back,
think
just to have the running back and have that in your pocket, like
but then maybe you could
I
flip.
think Pittman and Mixon is fair for just Josh Jacobs. Like if he don't want to give you White, then just be like, all right,
Yeah.
I don't like Mixon, but I'll take Mixon. Like just give me Mixon and Pittman for Josh Jacobs like that, just a 2 for 1.
Yeah, cryptics. There's a couple of different ways you can go with this. You can say Mixon and Pittman straight up for Jacobs. You can throw Rashad White back in there and see if he wants to do that. There's a number of ways you can go. I would definitely keep the negotiation open.
You really like Rashard White over Mixon, and he just says it has to be Connor that's in there for Rashard White, then just try and counter that with like, you know what, fine, I'll just take Mixon and Pittman for Jacobs, and just I'll keep Connor. You know, try and get White, but then play it off and be like, and just make it like you're settling for Mixon, but without having to give up Connor. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Lamar, Etienne, Monty, Ford, Moss, Sharps, Tyreek, Ridley, Addison, Deontay, Douglas, Downs, McBride. I'm 3-6.
It'd be like that.
Happens,
Definitely
man.
be like that.
Happens, man. He got you on the ropes. The rope a dope, bro. That's my pops's word. He always used to say that. The rope a dope. Yep, man. Appreciate you, Daniel. Appreciate you for tuning in. We're about to get out of here as well. Appreciate everybody out there for tuning in. As always, we'll be on tomorrow morning. But Hammer, you got
Yeah, buddy. No,
any last
nothing.
words?
No, we'll be on tomorrow morning. I got some game lines and stuff like that that I definitely want to dive into. Not
Yeah.
crazy about a ton of the games, but some I do like.
Yeah, we'll talk about the bets tomorrow. We'll get into some of the game bets tomorrow and some of the prop bets. We'll check up on Underdog, see what's going on there, see what we like. But yeah, we'll be on tomorrow morning, guys. But yeah, peace.